Confronting my estranged father. Warning, some audiences may find this content disturbing. View at your own discretion. Welcome to the House of Reddit. Today, we share some recent r/TodayIFuckedUp stories posted on Reddit. Confronting my estranged father. I need to renew my license and I need to get my birth certificate. This was my opportunity to confront my dad face to face and ask the questions I've held onto for all these years. I also planned on getting my late great-grandmother's ring so I could pawn it and get a loan on it for food, medicine, and water turned on and just buy it back. I need money now and that was my last option. I decided to grab my homecoming/prom dresses so my girls could wear them as a costume since I have no money for costumes and I thought it would be fun to see them twirl around. I pull up and knock, shaky and emotional, but hopeful. After about 10 minutes I realized this isn't how I expected things to go down, so I asked for my dresses, the vanity, my birth certificate, and the ring. My dad's wife starts laughing at me. Confused and uncomfortable, I ask again for my things. She tells me that my things are long gone and they weren't even nice enough to keep anyway. Again, confused, I say I don't understand? Surely she isn't insinuating that they got rid of my valuable, irreplaceable heirlooms without so much of a text message at the time saying to come get those things. Cut to the ending, I leave empty-handed and empty heart. Body sobbing on the way to the Dollar Tree to buy a box of black garbage bags so I can cut holes in them for my girls and pretend they are Ep.30 dresses mommy wore. This hurts more than anything I've ever experienced. It never crossed my mind that those things were in jeopardy of going in the trash. Accidentally castrating myself. It didn't happen today, but I thought today would be a good day to share my misfortune with a bunch of strangers. Part of the healing process, right? It's been long enough now that I can laugh at myself. Still stings a bit, though. Few years ago I took saw palmetto, an anti-androgen, for mild hair loss. Wasn't really losing my hair like crazy, but thought an herbal supplement was harmless enough. Didn't even really think it'd work, to be honest. Turns out certain people have gnarly reactions to DHT inhibitors, even in small doses. Something in my body went haywire and I ended up chemically castrating myself for years afterwards. Without getting into too much detail, it was essentially like I had my manhood removed from me. Pretty fucked. But a little bit funny that my own vanity did it to me. There's probably a lesson here, but I'm too bitter to spell it out. Women may as well have been plants during this time. Things slowly but surely got better after going through an absolutely ridiculous nightmare of weird medical mysterious. Still not 100% sure what the fuck happened to my body, but turns out there's thousands of people with the same story from DHT inhibitors like saw palmetto and finasteride. They dub it post-finasteride syndrome. I distance myself from the community, but I can't deny that anti-androgens really fucked my shit up for a long time. The whole thing is a mess and I didn't know any doctors that could help. It became easier just to blame it all on mental health issues. I feel like I knew what it was like to be a eunuch for a while. Now I try to think of it as my time as a monk. Definitely not the best way to find enlightenment. Still haunts me, but I try to laugh at it. Don't fuck around with anti-androgens. Another woman in my bed when my girlfriend walked in. Obligatory. This happened years ago. Me and my girlfriend live in shared accommodation along with 4 others, which includes another girl and a guy who both were dating each other. The girl, let's call her Lisa, is a friend, but my GF told me she gets suspicious vibes, just these vibes. I had to study for a test and it was 10 p.m. Everybody in my house was a few houses down the street at a house party. So here I am, just finished studying in my room, and go to bed in my boxer shorts for an early start. 5 minutes later, knocking on my bedroom door. My house is still empty, so I assume it was my GF coming back from the party to see me. I get out of bed and open the door a little just to stick my head around as I'm in my boxers. I'm surprised to see Lisa is there crying at the door, mumbling about her boyfriend being a dick. I couldn't turn her away, but I wasn't smart enough to say hold on a minute while I get dressed, as there was an urgency to her voice, so said hold on, let me jump in bed and we can talk. There was a chair in my room she could sit on, or even just sit on the end of my bed. I get in bed and she comes into my bedroom and closes the door. Again, I'm so stupid and innocent, I didn't think of locking the door because I wasn't thinking of anything sexual. This is important later. She starts saying that her boyfriend is flirting with another girl and feels really sad and can she stay here because she is lonely in her room. I do not know how it happened, but 1 minute later she somehow was lied on the top of the bed right next to me as I was sat up under the duvet. Cue my girlfriend, who I think from her previous suspicions had a spidey sense that Lisa went missing from the party and that I was in my room. She is smart. She came through the door and was just about to speak when she saw the situation. Me topless sat in my bed, I could have been naked, she couldn't tell. And Lisa lying next to me, inching closer and closer. Now I look back on it. It was at this moment I realized I fucked up. But at the same time I knew I was just being a friend who maybe is a bit dumb at context reading. I explained to my girlfriend what has happened and I did notice Lisa automatically get a lot better and sit up and get on the end of my bed. A few words were exchanged about Lisa's boyfriend and that he is leaving the party, and Lisa leaves the room. Are you ready for the shitstorm? Well, guys, here is a difference between a girl who can trust you and a girl who cannot. My girlfriend sat on my bed and explained how that looks to me, and I should be more careful about girls as she had mentioned about Lisa. She was a little mad but more at Lisa who fully knew what she was doing. I felt strange. Not that I was being used, but that was very close, and I hope any guys reading don't fall into any similar traps. It was the change in Lisa's behavior that did it for me. When my GF arrived that I knew this was weird. I fucked up by not seeing these red flags, but it's a life lesson that if you can keep trust in people, then this will save you in the most fucked up circumstances. Leaving my snake's cage open. I own an Asian vine snake named Tim who I purchased in March. He has been a fun pandemic project and was also my dream snake, so he's very dear to me. He's also a source of inspiration in my art and writing. I absolutely adore him more than any other snake I've had. For visual, he might be what comes to mind with the phrase judgmental shoelace. Simultaneously hilarious and beautiful. Full of personality. Tim lives in a bioactive enclosure, which means it's very green in there. He blends in well, resembling a green vine as his common name would imply. He is also very small, thinner than a pencil and around 2 feet long. I have been having trouble with his plants dying because he requires UVB, so I was doing some renovations. I stopped to find his sprayer and couldn't find it. I had noticed my mom had moved things around and so naturally I turned around and marched right down the hall to see if my mom had seen my sprayer. She had not, so I went back and looked for it some more and eventually found it on the floor. I pick it up and go to spray the cage and notice the door is open. Well, fuck. I take a peek inside and see that Tim is curled up in his rainbow hide hole suction cup to the glass, as he often is. Cool. I spray him, shut the cage and go back to playing virtual pet sites for a few hours. Bedtime rolls around. I feed my sand boa, feed my dogs, pick up a bit, drink a nutrient shake. Go back to the office to give Tim his evening misting. I think that I should double check that he's in there since I had left the cage open and I wasn't sure that I hadn't left the doors unlatched, which I've done before, and he was fully capable of pushing them open. It's the type with doors that swing out, because if you lift the lid of an arboreal snake's enclosure he will try to go up immediately, and they are extremely fast. So I look and I don't see him anywhere. He's not in his plants. He's not in his hide. He's not on his branch. Cue panic. I call my partner in. They look too. They put a finger in the hide in case he's wedged in there. They put a pen in the hide to shoo him out. They neither felt nor startled him, which is bizarre because he's extremely skittish. We start tearing the room apart and I'm trying not to freak out. My partner is upset. I check all the high places. No Tim. Check all my houseplants. No Tim. Check the other rooms. No Tim. This is a major problem because Tim is extremely thin, extremely fast and a little bit venomous. Not a problem unless you have an allergy, but none of us have been bitten to find out. Bigger worry about the roommate and my mom though. Don't want them finding a snake in their beds. Eventually we give up and finish getting ready for bed. I leave the door open in case he comes back, then go in the bathroom and cry a bit. I tell the roommate to keep an eye out. When I'm done crying I figure I'll have one last look. I peek inside again and don't see him. Then I think, what if he's way back in that hide? I take it off the glass and look inside. There's Tim. We did all that searching and freaking out and he was where I thought he was the whole time, just curled up more than usual. And I'd almost left the door open the whole night for him to actually escape, thinking he'd escaped. He tricked me like the bastard he is. If you enjoy this video, please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you have any suggestions for future videos, please let us know in the comments below. Turn on the notifications to know when we post new videos. Thank you for coming to the House of Reddit.